Good morning. Today on Business Success in 6 with Stacie, I have Jay Lowy here from the QTI group. Jay, thank you for jumping on with us today.
Well, good morning. Thanks for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. You offer some really unique services, and I would love for you to describe your business. And I know we talked a little bit about your story in the past. So if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you 6 questions about the QTI group. Is that okay?
Sure, very much so.
Thank you. When people ask you what QTI does, how do you describe it?
We are a human resource firm that specializes in staffing, recruiting, and compensation design in Wisconsin.
Wonderful. What were your plans when you started your business, and how have they changed?
I did not start the business. I joined the business and I helped my partner buy the business from his parents when I was in banking. And we were just a staffing company at that point in time. And one of my lessons in business is either you need to be the low cost supplier, the innovator, and we chose the innovation route. And so we added 3 other companies at that point in time: our recruiting company, our compensation company, and our outsourced HR company. And that's worked out very well over the last 33 years. We did exit the HR business, HR outsourcing business about a year and a half ago because of market forces. Basically, it was better for our customers we exit to give them other expanded health insurance options.
Okay, very interesting. Can you describe compensation a little bit more? What
Compensation is deciding how to pay people within your firm. And so it'd be a good example is, let's say you're a growing company and you want to hire your first sales manager, but you don't know how to price that and how to pay him and what the market is. And so we help companies decide what the market pay is and then design the right incentive program to steer the right behaviors. You want a team-based incentive, you want an individual incentive. So we help companies think through that to match what their culture is.
Okay, that's very, very interesting. And let's expand a little bit more. Do you think like your target market for a number of employees in a business, what would that be around?
I would say it would be anywhere from 25 to 2,000. I mean, it really, well, because depends on what you're using us for, because we do recruiting, for all different size firms. So let's again say you're a firm of 20 and you want to hire your first sales manager, we can help you out with the sales manager. Let's say you're a Sub-Zero freezer and you need an ice maker engineer. We can help Sub-Zero hire their ice maker engineer. So it really depends upon, really, we can go in a lot of different size businesses. It just has to be the right cultural fit for us more than anything, like a company that wants to improve and then is open to ideas.
Isn't that true? You do have to have that right cultural fit. I love that you said that. What is the biggest way you impact the community?
A couple things. One is to hire really good people, and our firm is just community minded. We've always been community minded, and if you look at even our customer base, we have a lot of nonprofits as customers, either from a recruiting standpoint. If you look around Madison, we probably have helped hire at least a quarter of the heads of nonprofits, and have done a really good job in that space. And same thing with the HR outsourcing. But we also give our employees. I think it's oh boy, shows that I'm a little bit more removed. I think it's 3 days of community service, a year, so they can do things in the community. But also as a company, we've always given back, and my other 2 partners in the business are also very philanthropic, also, which helps.
That's
See,
wonderful.
one of my beliefs is, and again, I was telling you, I have these little sayings. If you look at Dane County as a community as like a sandbox, and you play in the sandbox, you always take little grains of sand out, but you don't really realize you're taking the grains. So there needs to be firms that come by and put the sand back in. And if I describe QTI as one of those firms that we put sand back in, you might not noticing we're putting the sand back in, but we put the sand back in.
That's beautiful. I love that analogy too. Thank you for sharing that. What is one challenge that you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
I would say actually one of my biggest learnings is again a simple expression: too fast to hire and too slow to fire. And I think that sometimes we have an opening, you're so anxious to fill it because you know that it's going to help move your business forward. And so sometimes I think you try to put a square peg in a round hole, or you don't do enough, or you just might have, these are the best candidates I have right now. So you might not hire the right person. I think it's really important to wait to hire absolutely the right person for your firm. And then if you do happen to make a mistake, deal with it fast. Because I think as human beings, and this would be something I've learned myself, I would always try to give numerous chances. And I think some of those chances are really warranted. Some are not, especially if it does not start out well. And so realize he made a mistake. And it's probably better for that person too, because if it's not the right fit, then deal with it faster than slower.
Absolutely. Yeah. Rip off the Band-Aid with that one, right? Before it
Right.
gets too toxic or that energy passes around. So
But it's hard because I think as human beings, we're not cut out that way. And so you want to give people chances, and so which is a good thing. But again, you've got to be very careful of it.
absolutely. That's great advice. What does the future look like to you? And do you have an exit plan?
Um, my exit plan would be hopefully my kids over a period of time involved in the business, but it's got to be the right fit for them, and it's got to be the right fit for us. And so far, so good. Um, that I think the future is bright, but continue to be challenged. You know, especially in the staffing world with a shortage of people, that you've got to make sure that, again, we're placing the right people within companies, which is difficult when your customers are they not demanding, but they need to have help and you want to help them. You have a tendency to take a little bit more risk. So I would say it's just continuing. The challenges are continue to build a really good culture. And I think one of my beliefs today is your corporate culture is more important than ever. It used to be that you could get by not being the greatest employer and you might be able to pay a little bit more and things like that. I think being a really good employer today is almost as critical as it's ever been. And even more as time goes on, because you want to because also people are, can I say it? There's more liquidity in the labor market. You know, people they can get job offers just like that. And so you've got to provide that stickiness. And they do have a lot of choices where to go. At certain times that has not been the case, but I think it'll definitely be the case now and into the future.
Absolutely. And there so many businesses have done away with pensions so that people are less likely to stay in that job just because of a pension. So that culture is that much more important. And I've also heard that a lot of people, especially millennials moving forward, want to work for a company that has a greater purpose than just themselves. So, you know, people bash on millennials a lot, but at the same time, they're just looking to find more purpose. So if you have that culture and have that right fit, like you're talking about, and making sure that you're staffing correctly, I think that's going to help too.
I would agree with 100% with that. I'm very hopeful about the millennials.
Me too.
Except we're going to be handing them a very big invoice.
True story.
I know, which is a shame too, but I'm very hopeful of the next generation.
Me too. Thank you so much. So all subjects open. What inspires you most?
You know, I would say that hiring really good people and watching them expand and grow. I think the same thing as when we do placement. It's giving people a chance that they might not have gotten. You know, except my work with the nonprofits and things like that. How can I put this? I'm very hopeful of the next, but I also think that I'm losing my train of thought here. It's like, is this being recorded and people are going to see me losing my train of thought?
Oh, you bet. You're doing great. You are doing great. You have such great energy.
No, I am hopeful. And actually, I just joined the board of Aldo Leopold Center, the Aldo Leopold Foundation, which I'm very, it's again, it's my belief. It's one of my basic beliefs is that life is a marathon, not a sprint. And I think that we need, as a society, we need to have more of that viewpoint. And like with Aldo Leopold, with farmland and things like that, you've got to look at it as a 100 to 200 to 300 year thing to preserve the land. And I think the same thing goes with our culture and things like that. So maybe I'll end on that note.
I love that. Thank you so much for your time today, Jay. Can you tell us if somebody wants to get in touch with the QTI group, what would be the best way for them to do so?
Either the best way would be go to our website and pick the area of business that you have an interest in. Not. If not, please give me a call and I'd be very happy to chat with you. And that is 608-225-9084.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time today, Jay.
Well, Stacie, it's been a pleasure getting to meet you and happy holidays for you and your
My
family.
pleasure. You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.